So, this is a little bit of day 2 entry into a little bit of journaling. So, gotten 2 interviews for this week. However, I'm having a bit of a hard time trying to figure out what my priorities are and which jobs I want to be my number ones, my number twos. It's been weird. It's hard, but it's also difficult because I'm still dealing with a concussion. However, we're struggling with money and I can't just not do anything. So, sitting here at my desk, trying to figure out what's the best course of action. Also, welcome. My name is Jessie. I'm doing a little bit of a video series, mostly for anybody who wants to watch. It's a little bit of my everyday life, just my thoughts, different things. Yeah. So, right now, I have been struggling with depression and ADHD and some anxiety, and as well as dealing with a concussion that I had from a workplace injury. It's been very weird to not be able to do much. Unfortunately, my concussion made it so that I was unable to read for a while. I think it's starting to come back now. I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to have more energy, not throwing up, not getting as many headaches. But it's hard. It's hard recovering from an injury and not being able to do anything. I was supposed to be in school this semester, but unfortunately, due to that, I've not been able to do school. So I've been confined to this apartment. I've been confined to myself. I've been not able to work. I've literally been getting up, staying in bed, or watching videos and, wasting some time and just feeling quite defeated, not knowing what's going to come next. I'm at a point in my life right now where it feels like a very transitional point, where the next job that I'm going to get is a job I'm going to have for a while. And then I'm going to hopefully go to school in the fall for a year to be able to go into a career that I've wanted to go into for years. And it's been hard because recently I found out that I had money stolen from me when I left home. And that money would have changed my life at the time. So what happened was I left home at 17. I lived in an abusive household. I was verbally and mentally abused since I was a kid. Just now, still don't remember much of my childhood. It's very traumatic. But I left home at 17, and I left home with $250 to my name that I started working when I was 15. I found that about $11,000 and some dollars was stolen from me, and I don't know if I will ever get that back. But $11,000 when I left home could have changed my life. When I left home, I was in my grade 12 year, and I was hoping to graduate and go into dental hygiene. However, due to the circumstances, I ended up having to work 2 jobs full-time, and I barely was able to pass my English and my social to get my diploma to graduate high school. After graduating high school, I was sexually assaulted by a friend of mine, and I left the area I was in. I moved up to the bigger city, went to hair school to get out of it because I had the qualifications to get into hair school. It was an outlet and it was an escape. I then spent the whole year in hair school. I graduated with an excellence degree, which I worked really hard for, and meant that I had to graduate with an above 95% average in everything, meaning practical work doing clients and in book work, so tests and things like that. And I worked really hard for that. Once I graduated from college at the hair school, I went into a hair job as an apprentice under a man who owned his own 2 salons, who I was recommended by my director of my school, and I was very excited. However, I was sexually harassed by him, and he victimized and raped my friend. I had to leave that job 6 months into it, not knowing if I was going to be accredited any of the hours I did for him. And doing hair where I am, you have to get a full year of schooling, and you have to get 2,700 hours in apprenticeship, which can take about 2 years to get your license. I worked for him for 6 months, and I didn't know if any of those hours were going to be accredited for, and that's something very difficult to do. It was very taxing in the fact that I had to just leave that job. It was very traumatizing. Being harassed at work was hard. Losing a friend over circumstances was also difficult. And so I went into upgrading for my high school because realistically, I wanted to do dental hygiene, and I still do. So I went into upgrading, and this entire time I have struggled with depression. I've had depression since I was 12. I've now found out I have ADHD. I also know that I had anxiety. Anxiety wasn't as bad, but the depression has always been the worst. So I had to fight my way to just survive. And the depression started to catch up with me, and it's still caught up with me. So I decided to upgrade my schooling to be able to get into dental hygiene. And I did. I was successful in my upgrading. I got into school at the university, and I was working on my prerequisites for dental hygiene, because dental hygiene is a very competitive course, meaning you have to have a very high average and you have to take prerequisites to be able to get into it. So I was supposed to start prerequisites this September at the university, and my depression hit me harder than it's hit me in a long time. And I decided to speak with a doctor about going on medication again. I went on medication, and unfortunately the medication was not the correct one for me, and it sent me into a spiral of depression. For 8 weeks I didn't get out of bed. 8 weeks I wasn't able to do anything, meaning I wasn't successful in my first semester of schooling, and I started to run low on money. So I had to get a job, and I got a job at a workplace I was very excited to work at. In December, I got hired in November, and in December, I got hit with a 20-pound box in my head, and I got a concussion. I didn't know it was a concussion at first. I went back to work. I was working for about 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden I was almost debilitated. I had been getting headaches, I had neck pain, and then when it hit me, I stood up one day and I couldn't see anything. Everything went blurry. I felt as if I took my glasses off and I couldn't see, and I'm quite blind. So I had to go home. And since then, I have been unable to read. I've had migraines almost every day. I've been throwing up. I've had so many doctor's visits this year that when I walk into a doctor's office, they know my name. And it's been really hard, because I was also ready to start the second semester of university and come at it with a fresh set of eyes and be able to do that, and I wasn't able to do it. So now I have not been able to do university for the first year. However, I've taken student loans out. I had to fail the classes last semester because I couldn't afford to withdraw from them. I can't afford to start paying my student loans back because I haven't been able to work. I've been quite debilitated. It's been very hard. And on top of that, the depression has been harder because once you get concussions, sometimes it can impact depression. Now, I switched to medications in December or November to be off the medication that was not agreeing with me. I started a new medication for my depression and it's been a lot better, but it hasn't made it go away. And then on top of that, not being able to leave my house, not being able to get up, having no energy, not being able to read anything has been so frustrating and difficult to even comprehend. That's a little bit about me so far. There's a lot more about me, but so now I'm at the point where I'm looking for another job because I haven't been able to do school. I'm running out of money. I don't have enough money. I haven't been able to work. The job that I got hit in the head with was a part-time job, which means that the hours that I lost, I've been fortunate that I've been able to be in contact with WCB and I've gotten paid for most of the hours I have missed, but it's not enough anymore. And now I'm here. I'm at a transitional point in my life where I'm not able to take dental hygiene right now, but I'm looking at going into dental assisting to at least get myself into that career next year. Dental assisting is a 1-year program where I'm at, and I'm able to take that. And I'm looking forward to that. However, it doesn't make things easier right now. And maybe there's somebody out there who is going through something different or the same, but just can understand someone who is at a very vulnerable, lonely, and hard time in their life, in their 20s, living on their own. I don't have much family, leaving home. I lost ties with a lot of people. I moved up to a city I didn't know anyone, and it's been hard. But I also want everyone to know that it's possible, because the life I have now is 1,000,000 times better than the life I could have ever dreamed of or thought of, even though I may be going through struggles now or having hard times now, because the now isn't the forever, which is why I say I'm in a very transitional point in my life. I'm struggling a lot. I'm anxious. I just want the day to be over, but I don't want it to end, because with depression, it's difficult to want to go to sleep at night. But it's even harder to wake up because you're depressed. You don't want to do anything. Nothing makes you happy. You feel quite numb. And for me, I haven't been able to do anything. I've been physically debilitated. So wanting to do something without being able to do it, not wanting to do anything because of being depressed, but doing nothing also just makes it worse. It's a very hard part of life. And I just hope that somebody out there can get something out of this. That's Video Diary. Short, maybe irrelevant, maybe all over the place, but it's just something. And if I can be something to somebody, then I hope that helps. Thank you.